Ellen, were you surprised by the allegations about P. Diddy? Did that surprise you about P. Diddy? He's been on your show many times.
Have a good night.
So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seen me show up. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ellen. Happy birthday to you. You didn't invite me to the party, so I'm just here in my office having shots in honor of one of the most beautiful women in the world.
We knew it was only a matter of time until Ellen DeGeneres, the queen of mean, was dragged into this whole Diddy situation. Paparazzi recently caught up with Ellen to ask how she feels about her longtime friend Diddy facing some serious allegations, and Ellen got real nervous when the reporters brought up those infamous Diddy parties. Over the years, Diddy was a frequent guest on The Ellen Show. Now, with the current allegations surrounding his parties coming to light, fans are revisiting some of his older interviews because, in many of those interviews, Diddy openly discusses his infamous party, where Diddy playfully puts Ellen on the spot, questioning why she consistently declines invitations to his parties. But here's the kicker. Rumor has it that Ellen did indeed attend some of Diddy's parties. However, she wasn't at those star-studded, glitzy events we typically associate with Diddy. Instead, sources suggest Ellen may have attended other, less publicized gatherings at Diddy's house, where some disturbing and potentially illegal activities allegedly took place. Meanwhile, unsettling footage recently resurfaced on social media showing Ellen making Justin Bieber uncomfortable and asking inappropriate questions. So with rumors going around that Justin was allegedly victimized by Diddy and other industry men, fans are now wondering if Ellen knew what happened to Justin.
You just brought a friend to Bora Bora?
Yeah.
And you're just naked with your friend?
Why are you putting me on the spot like this? Gosh.
I mean, you can say, why can't you say you're dating somebody?
I'm not dating anyone, though.
She's just a friend?
She's just a friend.
Wow. I have friends, I've never seen them naked like that. And they don't bring me to Bora Bora.
Stop. You're making me blush, dude.
But what's the real truth about Ellen and Diddy's friendship? Did Ellen attend those rumored freak-off parties, and could she get roped in the ongoing federal investigation into Diddy? Let's break it down.
Now, what time would your party start, let's say?
Like 9:30.
Really? That early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like, what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party.
So let's first talk about why people are saying Ellen DeGeneres and Diddy have a lot more in common than meets the eye. To be clear, Ellen hasn't faced any serious criminal allegations like Diddy, but she does have a reputation of being the meanest woman in Hollywood. And some of the rumors going around about Ellen are downright spine-chilling. To begin with, both Diddy and Ellen have presented themselves to the public in a way that's pretty different from their real selves. But now, it seems like the facade they've been rocking has started to crack, revealing a glimpse of their true colors. Back in the 80s, Ellen got her start performing stand-up comedy at small venues and coffee houses in New Orleans. She quickly gained traction and began touring all across the country. Her first big break on TV came with a short-lived sitcom called Open House in 1992. Although it didn't last long, producers were impressed and cast her in their next project, These Friends of Mine, which later became known as Ellen. But Ellen truly made waves in April 1997 when she came out on The Oprah Winfrey Show. Her sitcom character followed suit in the iconic The Puppy episode, which became a landmark moment in TV history for its portrayal of LGBTQ+ issues. After her sitcom ended, Ellen returned to stand-up before bouncing back with a new sitcom, The Ellen Show, in 2001, followed by her massively popular daytime talk show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show. Now here's where things took an interesting turn. Despite her reputation as the friendly, goofy talk show host who loves to dance and give away prizes, cracks began to show in Ellen's persona. In 2007, a former writer from her sitcom spoke out about how she treated the reading staff poorly, criticizing their work behind closed doors despite putting on a charming front during rehearsals. Similar stories continued to over the years, but Ellen managed to silence most of the chatter. That is until 2016, when Kathy Griffin spilled the tea in her memoir about an encounter with a certain beloved daytime talk show host with short blonde hair. Griffin later confirmed she was referring to Ellen, revealing a side of her that wasn't so warm and fuzzy after all.
She was furious.
What did she say? What did she say?
She just really was on a rant. Because I had mentioned on your show that, I wish that women would support each other more, in particular super influential women. There's so few female comics over 50 that are making a living or doing okay. Like, we need to support each other. I expressed that to her, and she was like, I don't have to have anybody on my show I don't like and I don't want. I said, I know.
Fast forward a couple of years and more stars started speaking out about Ellen's unsavory character, and clips of Ellen being rude and making celebs uncomfortable started making the rounds on social media. Let's rewind to that cringeworthy interview Ellen had with Mariah Carey back in 2008. It's a prime example of how far Ellen would go to drum up publicity for her show. Whispers were circulating at the time about Mariah possibly being pregnant, but the singer hadn't confirmed anything yet. And despite Mariah looking visibly uncomfortable discussing the topic, Ellen kept pressuring her to answer, and she even went as far as trying to get Mariah to drink champagne on air to prove she wasn't pregnant.
That people are saying that that you're pregnant. There's rumors.
Don't discuss that.
All right. Well, you don't have to.
No, that's okay. No, honestly,
you don't have to answer me. Let's just toast with champagne and decide.
But they've been saying that since we. I can have some champagne. It's just fattening. So,
You can't have champagne?
That's not champagne because you can't.
No, it
have
is.
Is it really?
Yeah. You want to taste it?
I can't believe you did this to me, Ellen.
What? No.
Are you trying?
I'm not going to ask you if you're pregnant
This
or
is
not. I'm
peer
just gonna
pressure.
say.
You see what Ellen is doing? This is peer pressure.
No. Let's toast to you not being pregnant. If you're not pregnant, then we
Oh
should.
my goodness.
In 2020, Mariah opened up about this infamous moment in her interview with Vulture and said she was extremely uncomfortable and had a hard time grappling with the aftermath. I wasn't ready to tell anyone because I had had a miscarriage, Mariah said, also adding that she expected Ellen to have more empathy. And then there's the iconic Wendy Williams, who, by the way, had a well-publicized feud with both Diddy and Ellen. According to multiple insiders, Diddy had Wendy fired from her radio show back in the 90s after she insinuated on air that he might be on the DL. As for Ellen, she was always very passive-aggressive toward Wendy, and she didn't even try to hide her animosity when Wendy was a guest on her show. During the entire interview, Ellen seemed totally disinterested, barely mustering up any enthusiasm while talking about Wendy's show getting renewed.
All right. Let's talk about the show. You got renewed for 3 more years. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I mean, you're an OG in this game. You know what it is.
Yeah, it's
You know.
it's really amazing. I mean, as we know, talk shows come and go. To be able to stay on the air, it's a big deal.
Yeah, well, in 2020, we will be 11 years old.
Yeah.
And there's no rhyme or reason to say that a show is going to last just because you get one season. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's talk about Ellen's reaction when Wendy later cracked a joke about Ellen resembling Justin Bieber. It was a classic case of Ellen being one of those folks who loves to dish it out but can't handle it when the tables are turned.
Some people say that he looks like you. I've heard that. You've never heard that? They say it in a good way.
Who?
Okay,
What's the
fine.
song? What's the song?
Baby, baby.
Oh,
I forgot the name of the new one.
that's not new.
No.
Yeah.
What's his new song called? I forget. I know all the words.
Yeah. So,
Sorry.
Do I look like Justin Bieber?
No, they have made the equation.
Oh, well.
That's in a good way.
I don't mind that.
He's cute.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also can't forget about Dakota Johnson and that iconic moment when she flipped the script on Ellen and exposed her for being a huge liar. You know how Ellen often makes up stuff for the sake of a good laugh and most celebs just roll with it? Well, Dakota Johnson isn't your typical celeb. When Dakota swung by The Ellen Show in December 2019 and started chatting about her 30th birthday party, Ellen thought it would be a riot to tease Dakota about not getting an invite. But instead of playing along, Dakota pretty much called Ellen out for lying about not being invited.
How was the party? I wasn't invited.
Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited. Last time I was on the show, last year, you gave me a bunch of about not inviting you, but I didn't even know you wanted to be invited.
Well, who
'Cause I
doesn't want to be invited to a party?
Well, I didn't even know you liked me.
Of course I like you. You knew I liked you. You've been on the show many times, and don't I show like? Yeah.
But I did invite you and you didn't come. So,
This time you invited me?
yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Ellen was squirming in her seat, clearly feeling the heat and desperately trying to steer the conversation elsewhere. But Dakota wasn't about to let her off the hook that easily. She straight up pulled out the receipts, claiming that everyone on the Ellen Show team knew about the invite. And just to add insult to injury, Dakota made it crystal clear that she's got another comedian at the top of her list anyway.
So,
This time you invited me?
yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know? I don't think so.
Ask everybody. Ask Jonathan, your producer. Who said
Okay.
you were?
I
Yeah,
was
he's
invited?
right there.
Why didn't I go?
I don't know.
Was it? Oh yeah, I had that thing. It was probably in Malibu. That's too far for me to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. No, I think I do remember I was invited. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, but I really didn't remember that until just now. But Tig Notaro performed at your party?
She did.
She did a set?
She did. It was a surprise.
What did she do?
A bunch of funny stuff.
She's hilarious.
She's my favorite comedian. Other than you.
Wow, talk about a textbook example of how narcissists don't like it when you call them out. Just to draw a quick comparison, Diddy had a pretty similar moment on the Jimmy Kimmel Show recently. It was kind of like
The cannabis
Ellen, you could practically see the mask slipping away in both situations. Just weeks before Cassie dropped her bombshell lawsuit last November, Diddy appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and when Jimmy brought up Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal and all those wild allegations Gene made about him, you could literally see that love mask slipping from Diddy's face.
I am love.
Hey, speaking of
This
love,
is love.
I saw a guy on the internet the other day who said he used to be your security guard, who said that when you were dating J-Lo, Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a threesome and you were going to beat up Will Smith. Is that true?
This show has gotten crazier since the last time
It's all about love, though. That's not true?
You really heard that? Nah.
Well, yeah, I watched it on the internet. You're telling me I can't believe everything I read?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. Jimmy, I thought we was friends. Where did this go?
Well, that explains why Diddy and Ellen got along so well. Now let's talk about the way these two treat people who work for them, because they've both faced some ugly allegations about mistreating their staff. In Diddy's case, we all know about these recent allegations and disturbing lawsuits from the men and women Diddy used to have in his circle. However, these allegations didn't start with Cassie. All the way back in 2017, Diddy was sued by his former chef, Cindy Rueda, who accused him of sexual harassment and retaliation. Rueda said she started working for Diddy in 2015 and regularly worked from 9 in the morning to midnight or later without being paid overtime. But that's not even the worst party. According to Rueda, Diddy regularly asked her to serve him and his friends food immediately following sexual activity. Rueda claims Diddy made her serve him meals while he was in his birthday suit, and he even asked her if she liked his body. The lawsuit also alleged that one time, one of Diddy's friends came into the kitchen with no clothes on and asked her to look at and admire his private parts. Rueda said she constantly complained about her working conditions to Diddy's estate director, Stacey Friend. However, instead of listening to her complaints, they lured her into a situation where she could be accused of theft and ultimately terminated. Basically, Diddy set up Rueda by getting another employee to offer her a watch that they claimed was found in the trash. In the days following, plaintiff was accused of theft and told that she would not be prosecuted if she returned the watch and signed a waiver of all rights and claims against defendants, the lawsuit states. Now let's talk about Ellen for a minute. You've probably heard about all the allegations swirling around her and how she's been accused of mistreating her employees. Well, it's not just rumors. There's a whole laundry list of complaints. In fact, her appalling behavior is the reason her talk show ultimately got canceled. And apparently, Ellen mistreated her staff both at home and at her workplace. According to Ellen's former housekeeper who talked to the Daily Mail, Ellen ran her household like a military-style boot camp, barking orders, tormenting employees over tiny errors, and taking pleasure in firing people. Ellen also reportedly had this thing where she'd regularly write down passive-aggressive lists about all the little things she thought her employees were messing up. Pet stuff like serving food in the wrong bowl, misplacing the salt shaker, or not frothing her latte to perfection. But wait, it gets even more bizarre. One former staffer spilled the tea, saying Ellen was so ridiculously meticulous that she'd even set up what they called traps before leaving for work. Like, she'd sneakily place matches behind cupboard doors to see if the cleaners were dusting every nook and cranny of her mansion. And it didn't stop there. Handymen, security guards, you name it, they all dreaded coming over to Ellen's place because they knew she'd tear apart their work with her criticisms. It got so bad that one of the top security firms in Hollywood actually cut ties with her. And want to know the absurd reason why? Ellen apparently couldn't stand the way their security guards walked. She also allegedly used a condescending tone while speaking to workers and would sometimes even yell at them. She treated you like you were nothing, one former employee said, also adding that Ellen's attitude was always, "I'm going to torture you, and you are just going to sit there and listen to it because you are being paid. And get this, even Ellen's dogs couldn't stand her. The former staff members said the dogs loved Ellen's wife, Portia, and would get all excited when she came home, but they would barely get up when Ellen walked in. The employee called Ellen the worst person he's ever met in his life and said he was convinced she takes pleasure in firing people. And then, of course, we all know what happened to The Ellen Show and how Ellen destroyed her own legacy by mistreating her staff. Back in July 2020, BuzzFeed News published a report by 10 anonymous former employees confirming that The Ellen Show had always been a toxic workplace. The staff members were reportedly fired for going on medical leave or taking a day off to attend funerals of family members. One former employee said Ellen didn't just turn a blind eye, but encouraged the mistreatment, racism, and harassment of staff members. Former Ellen Show DJ and actor Tony Okungbowa also addressed the claims and wrote on Instagram that he definitely experienced the toxicity of the environment. Now, the crazy part is that almost all of Ellen's celebrity friends stayed completely silent on these allegations. And we're seeing the same thing happening now with Diddy. All those celebs who were flaunting their friendship with Diddy every chance they got and begging to be invited to one of his parties are nowhere to be seen. By the way, isn't it funny how both Ellen and Diddy preach kindness and love all the time? In fact, Ellen always claims she lives by the be kind to everyone mantra.
When I say be kind to one another, I don't mean only the people that think the same way that you do. I mean be kind to everyone.
And doesn't this remind you of Diddy's whole love act that he's been pushing for the past couple of years?
We live in a toxic world, and it's love versus hate. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And I choose love. That's my new name, and love wins. Love wins. Let's go, y'all.
Now, another thing Diddy and Ellen allegedly have in common is the way they treat their romantic partners. So we all know by now about all those horrific allegations made by Cassie in her lawsuit about Diddy putting his hands on her and doing all kinds of depraved stuff.
The lawsuit headlines with a trigger warning for containing graphic sexual assault information, describing in detail sex trafficking allegations, in which Combs would force Cassie to take
This.
wear masks, and perform acts on other men so he could watch. Cassie says Combs raped her when she tried to leave him. She says he beat her, then made her stay in hotels or his home until the bruises healed, and his security would make sure she did what Combs wanted or else.
But see, this behavior didn't start with Cassie, and multiple insiders have said Diddy treated all the women he dated the same way. According to his former bodyguard, Gene Deal, Diddy would get physical with his baby mama, Misa Hilton, and one time the situation got so out of control that Misa had to run and hide under a car to escape Diddy's anger.
Misa was drop dead gorgeous. She thought Puff was messing around. I guess like she started talking to the dude from EPMD. He came to see her, and Puff beat up till she got up under the, beat her literally till she tried to run up under the car. Wow. He was reckless with his hands, you know that.
Diddy's other baby mother, Kim Porter, sadly went through the same ordeal, and according to former Bad Boy artist Mark Curry and other insiders, Diddy once broke Kim's nose, and when she left him, he had her followed and wiretapped her phone.
And the only person that really put their hands on women really is people who have, men who have feminine traits. So, you know, it really takes a coward to put his hands on a woman. So, you know, a man is so strong enough, we can just walk away. You can do, there's so many different things that you can do other than get upset, put your hands on a woman. But that comes from a man who's not quite a grown man. It's still a boy, like a bad boy.
Speaking of Kim Porter, because you knew Kim Porter, is it true that Diddy broke her nose?
Bust her nose, man. You know, but it was all, you know, insecurities. Anytime a man would go out his way to wiretap someone's phone or put taps in their homes just to monitor their conversation, that's a sign of insanity.
Now, as for Ellen, she never faced any allegations of getting physical with her partners. However, there's been a lot of speculation over the years that Ellen is super controlling and possessive over her wife, Portia de Rossi, and she allegedly even made Portia give up her acting career. All right, let's rewind to where it all began for Ellen and Portia. So they first crossed paths at a Hollywood event back in 2000, and they both claim it was was love at first sight. However, it took them another 3 years to confess their feelings to each other. They went public with their relationship in 2005 and made their red carpet debut as a couple at the HBO Golden Globe Awards party. They moved in together shortly after, and in 2008, they tied the knot in an intimate ceremony shortly after the California Supreme Court legalized gay marriage. But as with any celebrity couple, the rumor mill started churning not long after their wedding bells stopped ringing. An anonymous source spilled the tea, claiming Ellen got extremely possessive and controlling of Portia as soon as they tied the knot. The source said, "Ellen's a jealous control freak, and it's taking a toll on Portia. Portia loves her, but she feels like she's trapped in Ellen's world, and she can't get out. She's had it with Ellen's jealousy and insecurities." Meanwhile, Portia developed an ED, and she struggled to recover for years. However, Ellen claimed she was completely unaware of her wife's health issues and only realized Portia was suffering after she read Portia's book. And then when Ellen faced all those allegations about mistreating her staff, Portia shared a message of support seemingly defending Ellen. However, according to one insider who spoke with In Touch Weekly, Portia did that because she's scared of Ellen. The source said, "Portia has seen Ellen at her worst, and she understands better than anyone Ellen's controlling behavior and the cold way she treats people because she's been on the receiving end herself." The source also added that Ellen has recently become even more possessive because she's worried Portia will betray her and start talking to the media about Ellen's mean side. It's like they say, birds of a feather flock together, right? So it's really no surprise that Ellen and Diddy hit it off. They really seem to share a lot of personality traits in common, and Diddy's been a frequent guest on The Ellen Show over the years.
17 times! I've been on the show 17 times!
It feels like 20.
Feels like 20.
Every time feels like 1 1/4, so it adds up to 20 because it keeps going. You're always entertaining. You always make me laugh.
And now, with the spotlight on Ellen and Diddy's friendship, some pretty interesting clips from those visits are resurfacing online. Take, for example, this clip where Ellen asks Diddy who he'd like to be stuck in an elevator with, and he immediately blurts out Kevin Hart without explaining why.
Someone you would want to be stuck in an elevator with.
Kevin Hart.
Okay.
Or this time when Diddy and French Montana played Kinky or Drinky with Ellen and things got really creepy.
Women who talk baby talk in bed. Really?
It's not how you play the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a turn on, somebody talking baby talk to you.
No, it's just talking.
No,
Talking dirty.
No, baby talk.
Baby talk is in the category of talking dirty.
Is it a baby
Hey, yo,
or like
let me explain something to you. There's no rules in talking dirty. There's no rules in talking dirty. I don't want to be with a baby. That's not my thing. I want her to talk baby talk.
There are also many clips circulating where Ellen and Diddy talk about going to each other's parties.
Are you going to be early for my party?
Yes, I am. No.
No.
You know I have to arrive fashionably late.
All right. Not too late, though.
Not too late?
Not too late, please.
What time would you like me there?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But not too late. Because, once you get there, the party really starts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I promise you I'm not going to let you down on this big one.
All right,
For
good.
real.
Good.
And then in another viral moment from the show, Diddy puts Ellen on the spot by saying she never shows up to his parties.
So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seen me to show up to.
No, well, is it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that? Now, what time would your party start, let's say?
Like 9:30.
Really? That early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like, what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party.
Uh-huh.
It'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
Mm-hmm. And then it will carry on there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then the after party.
Mm-hmm. No, I know about them.
However, rumors are now going around that Ellen did attend those after parties. In fact, the paparazzi recently caught up with Ellen to ask her about all the Diddy allegations, and you could tell Ellen got nervous when she heard Diddy's name.
Ellen, were you surprised by the allegations about P. Diddy? Did that surprise you about P. Diddy? He's been on your show many times. Have a good night. Have you been to his parties?
She looks worried and nervous, one fan said. And another one added, "Oh man, the genuine fear in that shuffle to her car." But let's hear your take take on this. How do you feel about people saying Ellen and Diddy share a lot in common? And do you think Ellen really attended those rumored freak-off parties? Leave your comments below and don't miss out on this next video.
Okay. Now let's get a good look at you.
Hold it. Run that back. Pause it.
There, freeze that.
Full screen.
Okay, freeze that.
Tighten up on that way. Move in. More.
Zoom in right here on this spot.
Enhance the detail and lock on and enlarge the Z-axis. Can you clear that up any?
I don't know. Let's enhance it.